Hi Fight fans, welcome back again to another episode of the African Fighters. And on today's episode, we'll be giving you a roundup of everything happening in the world of combat sports. Stay with us. Alright, we start off this episode with a big congratulations to Preeti Sotesi, a Sibongili Boxing Club member and no stranger to the local boxing scene, was recently chosen to serve on the International Boxing Association Competitions Committee. The only African woman and the first person from the continent to serve on this committee. Preeti is one of the two women on the committee. She went on to say that her appointment did not come as a surprise, as she has experienced all the major success of the local boxers who have competed in the international rings and returned with awards. She added that when the position was first listed, she didn't jump at the chance to apply for it, but when the IBA reopened it and said they still wanted women to serve on the committee, she submitted an application. Though my main goal has always been to support boxers at the grassroots level, I was pleased to have been given this opportunity, said Preeti. The primary responsibility of a member of the competition committee is to plan competitions on a continental and worldwide scale. The Commonwealth Games, the Olympics, are two of the prominent events that the committee is in charge of organizing, she explained. IBA President Umar Kremlev stated in his letter confirming Preeti's appointment, "I'm extremely confident that with your subject knowledge and experience, you will make a significant contribution to the success of this important technical committee." Alright, while Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira may be less than 2 months on from the latest chapter in their lengthy combat sport rivalry, it doesn't seem that they hold any animosity towards each other. In UFC 287 headliner, Adesanya returned to the throne that he was unseated from 5 months prior in brutal fashion. This past weekend, their series was back in the headlines after Pereira was filmed hanging out with the rivals of Adesanya's favorite rugby team in Australia. In a video uploaded on social media, Pereira can be seen interacting with Adesanya at an airport, with the two fighters exchanging laughs, pleasantries, and a fist bump. Adesanya also documented the unlikely meeting, filming Pereira behind him in a queue. While the pair of elite combat athletes have exchanged knockouts, insults, and taunts in recent months and over the past 7 years, they seem to have put their differences behind them. Highly decorated Zimbabwe superstar Nicholas Uwende is set to take on Velmurad Alkashov in his debut in the Brave FC at Brave 71 at the National Stadium in Bahrain. The card is headlined by a welterweight championship bout between Marcin Bandel and Kamal Magomedov. However, there will be a lot of eyes on the EFC Bantamweight champion, as the man from Zimbabwe is still undefeated in his professional career. It will be his first appearance since his victory against Rovan De Beer. Alright, after 4 months as a free agent, the future of former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou has received some clarity. After the multi-fight exclusive MMA deal was made public, Ngannou's immediate future plans were laid out. They will see the heavyweight powerhouse make his boxing debut later this year before arriving in the Smart Cage in mid-2024. One point of discourse brought up by many Ngannou's detractors has surrounded a supposed limited pool of possible opponents. But according to one former UFC title challenger turned PFL employee, there are plenty of options. During a recent interview with the Sportsman, Dan Hardy gave his take on Ngannou's arrival and possibilities moving forward. Hardy, who currently serves as the head of the fighters operation for the PFL Europe, listed a number of heavyweights outside the promotion as possible opponents for the Predator next year. This included undefeated 2 Division 1 champion Anatoly Malakin, also Arjan Sain Bula, Ryan Bader over in Bellator, Ante Delija, as well as Bruno Capelloza. While these names are well respected, it's yet to be seen if any of them can match the excitement of what the John Jones vs Ngannou fight would have been in the UFC. Alright, the City Kickboxing head coach isn't sure Whittaker deserves another title opportunity at the UFC middleweight champion. Former UFC middleweight champion Robert Whittaker is one fight away from challenging for the middleweight gold again. He lost the title after holding it for over a year to Israel Adesanya by knockout at UFC 243. Although Whittaker looked better in their second matchup, the last stylebender defeated him again, this time by unanimous decision at UFC 271. After losing twice to Adesanya, it seemed Whittaker would be put in the back of the line for a middleweight title opportunity. It seemed Whittaker would have to gain more wins to fight Adesanya for the 3rd time. UFC, however, has presented him with a unique opportunity. He is set to fight Dricus du Plessis, who is ranked 6th in the middleweight division, on a 7-fight win streak at UFC 290 on July the 8th. UFC President Dana White announced that the winner of the fight will be the next title contender for the UFC middleweight championship. City Kickboxing head coach Eugene Berman isn't a fan of the matchup and is not sure Whittaker should get another title opportunity as of now. In his words, he said, "We fought him, he's basically been in the ring one time since then, whereas we've just been tracking on. We are who we are, just put the opponent in front of us and then we'll fight. I mean, our preference is not to fight Whittaker again because we've obviously beaten him twice. He hasn't really done anything since then to warrant him fighting again. So definitely our preference will be the South African, but then the South African has to cross the line and obviously he has a very tough opponent." Interesting words from the City Kickboxing head coach Eugene Berman. Alright, MMA legend Chael Sonnen recently weighed in on Shafkat's decision to call out Kelvin Gastelum via social media. The undefeated Rakhmonov last competed at UFC 285, where he forced Govneil to submit late into round 3 with a rear naked choke. Shortly after the fight, Joe Rogan entered the octagon for a post-fight interview with the Kazakh rising star. The popular podcaster suggested that the 17-0 Rakhmonov had entered the top contender position following his win over Neil. Rakhmonov seemed to agree, suggesting he wanted either UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards or Colby Covington next. In a recent video on his YouTube channel, Sonnen heavily criticized the manner in which Rakhmonov called out Gastelum. He believes that Joe Rogan's UFC 285 comments suggested that those comments are likely from the UFC top decision makers. In turn, Rakhmonov's decision to call out an unranked fighter becomes surprising and not in his favor. Sonnen even went as far as calling out the Kazakh's intelligence into question over a move like that. As Shavkat Rakhmonov significantly damaged his opportunities to get into a title conversation by asking to fight Gastelum, who is an unranked fighter, or is this a move that can easily be overturned? Leave your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next episode.